Andy, when you came to us, it was season 1990-91. How did the move come about?
Well, I was out of contract at Oldham, and they'd offered me a deal at Oldham, and there was a couple of clubs coming. Bristol City actually was in for me at the same time. Oldham offered me another contract. Bristol City had offered me a contract, but then I got a call from Ian Munro, as it was at the time. Then Ian and Leash were running the team, and Ian phoned me up through a mutual friend that I knew down here, a reporter. So I spoke to him. I travelled up there with the wife and spoke to Ian and Blair Morgan and the likes, and that's how it came about, really. And I really liked it. I liked the look of the place. I liked the sound of where they were going and what they wanted to do, and that's how it came about, really.
Mm-hmm. Were you aware at the time of a bit of turmoil at the club?
I sort of came in the middle of all of it. Yeah, I didn't really get it, and foolishly, I quoted somewhere along the line about, as I understood it, Ian was doing everything, and I didn't know about Leash and the scenarios and all that back then. And I genuinely thought that, speaking with Blair and speaking with Ian, I didn't meet with Leash at all. I just met with Ian and Blair Morgan. And I thought, well, I didn't know anything more about it. But yeah, obviously there was something going on between Leash and Ian at the time, and I was sort of in the middle of it, which I weren't aware of when I first signed.
Mm-hmm. That first season when you came, it was at that time it was probably a bit of a transition because they had been managed by Leash and Ian Munro was coach, and then it changed. So it kind of I suppose Ian was putting his stamp on the team, but at the time the defence was quite settled when you came in, because you had yourself and I think at the time there was Tommy Wilson and Ray Sharp, Norrie and Davy Moyes in defence.
That's right. Yeah, that was the back four. It really was. Yeah, solid line. Yeah, on the face of it, I thought it was a really good chance, really good team with flair going forward, with the likes of Cosy and Ian McCall and Roscoe up front, and George O'Boyle. Shame about George with the injuries, because George, what a player! And I thought, well, this team's got a right chance of the Europes and everything else, and that was an appeal for me to go up there at the time.
Yeah. Did you know anything about the club before you actually came?
Yeah, I mean, what did I know about it? Not a great deal. Obviously, I knew that Dunfermline Athletic was a really good football team, and I knew the leagues, and obviously you see the fixtures because I follow football everywhere. So what did I know about Dunfermline in terms of history? No, not a great deal. And it was obviously a learning curve for us going up there and that part of Scotland as well.
Mm-hmm. How did you settle into the team? Because it was you and Westy and John Hillcoat were the three goalkeepers at that time?
Yeah, young Hilly was there. Yeah, he was in the youth team at the time, young John. And funny enough, just kept in touch with John and Westy to a point over the years. But yeah, no problem. It's fantastic. That's what it's football. He had a good goalkeeping department and strong characters and good people to work with. It was really good, really comfortable to go up there and settle in. No problem.
Mm-hmm. Is there any particular time that stood out for you while you were with us?
Well, the obvious ones was probably, the semi-final beating Airdrie at Tynecastle in the shootout. That was really good to get to the final, and obviously then the final against Hibs at Hampden, which unfortunately was looking okay until half time, and we were. I thought we had a right good chance of winning that, a really good chance of getting the trophy there, but hey, it wasn't to be. But probably those two games in isolation were the highlights of it, and I really loved playing for them all the way along the line, but the two highlights were probably that shootout at Tynecastle and obviously the Hampden final.
Mm-hmm. Because that happened in your second season, and the second season we really struggled to start with because we couldn't win. I think it took us about 19 league games to win a league game, and there was also at that time during that season, there was also the change of manager from Ian Munro, obviously left, and Jockey Scott came in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were struggling, and obviously, you know, it's the same anywhere, any football club at any time. You know, if you're not winning games, it tends to be the manager and coaching staff that suffer the consequences of the players not getting the results. And yeah, that's what happened. Ian lost his job, and Jockey came in with Gordon Wallace, if I remember rightly. And then yeah, that season we went down, and I left at the end of that season.
Yeah. Tell me a bit more about the semi-final and the game against Airdrie, because obviously the thing that was prominent at that time was the fact that Norrie was up against his pal John Watson. Yeah,
exactly. It's amazing how these things turn up. Yeah, they owned a business in town together, did Norrie and Winker, and yeah, we've drawn them, and it comes down to Winker's penalty at the end, which was really good. No, that was nice.
Did you have a good reputation in saving penalties?
Yeah, I've been really fortunate all the way through. And when I went to St Johnstone in shootouts, never lost a shootout, penalty shootouts. That's a little feather in my cap. Hey, it's just a game of chances, we know. But I had a really decent record of saving penalties and winning shootouts.
What would you say then is the knack in saving a penalty?
Oh gosh, it's just your luck go the right way. Hopefully they hit it that way. It's not a lot of science in it. There's a little bit more in it now because you've got a bit more evidence of what the boys are taking, what they've taken before, and what the history is of the penalty takers. So there's a bit of evidence, but at the end of the day, you've got to sort of take a chance, and hopefully they go that way. I thought with John Watson's penalty, to be honest, I thought he'd go with power. And it's very difficult to go with power and go to a corner. So that's what sort of stayed up on the last one. I thought, well, if he's going to smack this, it might be in my range, so I might be okay. So that was my theory on that one. I knew what type he was a blaster, and I thought, well, it might be in my range if I stay there. But ordinarily, it is literally try and get a bit of evidence of where they've taken the previous, gamble, and hopefully they go that way.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Who were the characters at the club at that time, apart from yourself, of course?
Oh, really good people. Yeah, I mean, obviously Norrie comes to mind. Raymond Sharp, great company, great to be around, infectious, lively. You know, him and Norrie were a real bundle of fun. Ross Jack, you know, really good fun, good company. We sort of got close with Isfan and his family. You know, not much of a character, but really nice, really good person, and really good people. And I was lucky when I worked down at Ipswich. We went to play in a pre-season few games on tour in Hungary, and I bumped into he was working out there. So I met Isfan out in Hungary when I was working down at Ipswich as a coach, and it was great to get back together again. But a lot of really good people, good characters.
Mm-hmm. Isfan was a really good player.
Quality player, absolutely quality player, lovely footballer, intelligent footballer, comfortable on the ball. Yeah, terrific player. As was Ian McCall. By the way, Ian McCall, really good footballer. Great on the ball. You talk about footballers who can pass and see a pass and really comfortable with it. Ian McCall was the same. Really terrific footballer.
Mm-hmm. Do you still keep in touch with many of the players from that era?
No, not so much. No, not really. I've been up at Hibs a couple of times and spoke to Westy when we've been up and around there, but I'm going back a few years now when I've gone up there on scouting duties with my jobs at various clubs and things and been in and around. But lost touch with Sharpie over the years. Last time I spoke to Raymond was probably 10, 15 years ago because Raymond lived in the village where I was. So I saw a bit of Raymond, but no, sort of lost touch over the years. Yeah, it's a shame, but hey, that's football. People move on, they do different jobs, go to different clubs, and get on with their lives. That happens.
Yeah. When you left us in 91, 92, you obviously went to St Johnstone then, and George Boyle went to St Johnstone as well.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, George, he sort of followed us around again. I come back to George. What a player. You know, but for injuries, goodness knows what George's career could have been because he was a terrific player, great finisher, lovely talent. but unfortunately was plagued with injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know when you came back to East End, when you played with St Johnstone, you got a good reception, and George unfortunately didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what the ins and outs of all that was, but obviously I still lived in the area, as did George. But I got on great with the fans. I had a great relationship with the Dunfermline fans. I still have, and I love the club. Got a really, close feeling, and still looking for Dunfermline to this day. You see what they're doing, and to see what sort of results they have. And spoke to Blair Morgan over the years, and kept in touch with him, and obviously his affiliation with Dunfermline. So yeah, it's in my heart, and the kids now, for my children. It's part of our lives forever. Is Dunfermline now.
Did you enjoy your time up in Scotland? Because you stayed up for a good number of years.
10 years, loved it. Yeah, I loved it. It was a wrench. It really was a wrench leaving Scotland, but work was work. Loved playing up there, loved living up there. Got a lot of good friends. I still keep in touch with, not in football, but friends where we lived in the village and that we still keep in touch. Christmas cards, see each other. Like I say, I still get to Scotland quite a bit with work. So when I'm up there, I see my friends that we're still really close to, and love Scotland. We go up as a family whenever we can. Really loved working, playing, and living up in Scotland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could I ask you about another game that you were involved in, and that was when you played for Airdrie? Because when you left St Johnstone, you went and played for Airdrie. And then in season 95-96, we were going to win the league, and we played Airdrie the last game of the season.
Yeah, I remember it. And I brought Maury down for the penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bit of a, because you'd played with Alan Moore at St Johnstone, hadn't you?
Yeah, we know Maury really well, and just how it happens. Yeah, Maury had gone down to Dunfermline then from Saints, and I was over at Airdrie. And last game of the season, we were, I don't know, mid-table mediocrity at Airdrie, and Maury come through. And gosh, when I'm coaching goalkeepers now, I would say don't go tearing into situations like that, stay on your line and let him beat you. But I did a foolish thing by going out and brought him down and sticks a penalty in and they win the game, which is, hey, that's football, that's what happens. There was no agenda to it, I have to say, to kill all those myths that I did it deliberately from going. That never happened. It was just a mistake on my behalf.
Yeah. I know. What was the atmosphere at that game for the likes of you as an opposing player? Because obviously there was a huge crowd there that day, and we were obviously wanting to go up as champions, and you guys were the ones that were trying to stop us. So what was the atmosphere like for you then?
It was great. I've had that a few times where we've been the team that's, getting the success, and it's been on us, and the pressure been on us to win the game, and also being the opposition. And that was one of the occasions where we were the opposition. You're there making up the numbers. You want to win the game. Nothing to play for, which is hard to get motivated. But the atmosphere usually gets you through it. And obviously, you do want to put a spanner in the works if you can. We wanted to win the game, as you would do, and it's football. It's what you do. It's nice to play in them games. It's they're obviously a lot better if you've got something at stake that you need to win it, rather than ones that are just making up the numbers, if that's the right thing to say, and just trying to stop them. But it's no problem playing in situations like that. It was fine. We wanted to win, and unfortunately we didn't. And Dunfermline got the result they wanted, which was great for them.
Yeah. Okay. You weren't jumping up and down in the dressing room afterwards, then?
No, I did go out with the Dunfermline boys after it. I have to say, though, because I'm still living there, and I remember the night out afterwards. So I did stay around. I stayed at the stadium afterwards. I got invited upstairs and had a few drinks and a bit of a celebration with them. But I wasn't jumping up and around. But I did enjoy the evening with a couple of the boys after it.
Oh, that's good. When you left Scotland, you went back down to England, obviously, and you've been a goalkeeping coach for a good number of years.
That's right, yeah. 20 years I was at it, just a goalkeeping coach, until just recently when I went into the management side at Oldham. But yeah, that was obviously a natural progression from from being a player to, I did my coaching badges up in Scotland there, down at Largs. So I'd done my badges there. I came down to England, got offered a coaching job at Barnsley, and been around doing goalkeeping coaching ever since, really. Worked with Joe Royle at Man City and Ipswich, and when Joe lost his job. And then I've been at Sheffield Wednesday for 10 years doing the goalkeepers, until I wanted to have a go at the management side, which I got the opportunity at Oldham, which was my old club where we were successful. We unfortunately didn't get long enough again. If you don't get the results and things don't happen, you lose your job. So that happened a couple of years ago, but been fortunate enough to stay in football all the way through, which is I'm really lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you get much chance to see your son playing Jordan?
Yeah, bits and pieces. And now I work at a football agency now based in London, and Jordan's with our company. So I've sort of looked after Jordan's career all the way through, really, in terms of his contracts and his moves and things. So I'm sort of full time with that, with 6 or 7 other players, which I have. So I'm sort of football liaison now with a big company based in London. So I get to see him and get around to see a lot of players most weeks, and I see almost every one of Jordan's games. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you were obviously working beside Bully.
Yeah, it was with Bulls. Bulls came in later. I was there, 4 or 5 years, and Bulls came in and was doing the under-23s, and then moved up to the seniors. So I had 3 or 4 years working with Lee, with the seniors at Sheffield Wednesday, which was great. And we still speak now. Lee's back there with the 23s at Wednesday now, and does great. And it was, great to link up with him, which, when we used to go up to Scotland and do pre-season tours and things, I used to bump into Bully when he was working at Falkirk's and things. So I've known him for a lot of years, and obviously William coming in at Sheffield Wednesday and that connection, it was great. We got really close over the years.
Yeah. How would you look back on your time with us and up in Scotland?
Oh, fantastic. The most successful, the best playing times was when I was Oldham, when we got promotion, we were in cup finals, and we were everything else. We were really successful teams. But in terms of enjoying playing and just life in itself, best time of my life in Scotland. All the family, my wife, we really loved living up there. And like I say to you earlier, it was a real wrench. It was quite emotional when we were coming over that Forth Road Bridge, when we sort of sold the house and moving back down to England. It was real tough for us, and we can't wait to get back up there again whenever we can, whether it's just a weekend away or to go to see friends or I'm working. Really, really miss living up in Scotland, but it's great that we get up there quite regular still.
Mm-hmm. Well, the next time you're up in Scotland, will you come and pay us a visit at the football club? When you're allowed to. When
we're allowed, I'd love to get back to the game and go to see a few old faces at East End Park. It'd be lovely, and I will take you up on that invite. I would love to come and see you. Yeah.
Good. Well, you do that the next time you're up in the area. Come and see us when we've got a game on.
I will, absolutely. We're allowed, absolutely. We'll be there. That's a definite.
Okay, and thanks very much for speaking to us, Andy. It was really good of you.
It's a pleasure, and all the best, and stay safe, everybody up there, and hopefully see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.